So in a previous video, I said that I would probably share a bit of thinking around this framework that was actually in this picture behind me, called the Entrepreneurial Ladder. And basically, it's a ladder that we use to help our clients pose questions of themselves in terms of what level of thinking do they currently have and what might they need to have in order to progress. What level of skills do they have currently and what might they need to look towards as their kind of time in business and as their, I guess, experience within business evolves. It's called the Entrepreneurial Ladder, and it is just that. It's how do we, as people, mature in business, and what does that journey look like? Now, it is a framework. You may have your own framework to look at this kind of thing, and that's great. I like to do things nice and simply. The reason that I lay it out like this is because if it's simple, it can be understood. If it's understood, it can then be implemented, and then once implemented, we get results. That's what clients seem to like about these kind of frameworks. So, starting at the bottom, what we're looking at here is the role of the employee fundamentally is to become really good at a particular job. So in each job that we do, we need to learn the necessary skill set in order to become good at that job. We tend to become quite specialised in that. I had a career in sales and marketing, and that's where my skill set up until that point and to the point at which I left, I'd kind of developed a lot of skills in that area. However, moving into a different world entirely, my eyes were completely opened into, wow, there's an awful lot more for me to learn. I'm sure you're the same. That's where, for anyone who is looking at this video who is self-employed, all of a sudden, my word, not only do you have to be really good at the thing that you're good at doing, but actually you're then effectively running your business. And I put that in inverted commas because it's not a business, it's effectively the job that you've created for yourself through self-employment, and that's fine. But what you've noticed is that you're now starting to wear multiple hats. So as well as doing a good job of the delivery of the service that you provide, you're also now having to become the marketing guy, the sales guy, the finance guy too. We're learning more things. As we move up here, and this is, I think, where a lot of businesses are, certainly in and around Edinburgh, and I think it's pretty true of anywhere else in the world. A lot of people will call themselves business owners. And again, it's not for me to knock anyone down. People can view themselves whichever way they want. But by the definition of the ladder, I think it's quite helpful to say, look, you're not a business owner at this point yet. Now, what you might have done is grown up from being self-employed, accumulated more people, some resources, maybe some different sites or offices. But fundamentally, what's happening here, and this is where most business owners tend to get stuck, is that they are effectively just managing the resources that they've got around them. And it's quite an exhausting place to be, because we've still not necessarily managed to think like an owner, because the owner starts to then view the business as being something that could and should run without them, and then chuck off sufficient levels of income through profit, dividend, whatever way they draw it, so that they can potentially do some other things. Now, at that point, you're thinking in a very different way, because all of a sudden the job ain't done by you. You aren't the person that's going to fix the problems. You've built a team around you of people who do that. So again, you've also created the systems that are required in order for the business to run without you. So you've moved yourself from this position here of being very centered to the business to effectively sitting to all intents and purposes to the side of the business, and it's running autonomously without you having to be there. And that really is where we're trying to get people to have that business that becomes a valuable, sellable asset as well, so that you've got the freedom, whether that be the time freedom from your business or the money freedom that the business is giving you, to then do other things, which is, investments that you want to make. Again, there's a different level of skill and mindset you need to have in order to invest your money wisely in order to get a good return. And then the next stage on from that, in terms of our evolution in business, would be the entrepreneur. And the difference here that I would make is that where an investor invests money in order to get a return back on his or her money, an entrepreneur is someone who has the ability and skill set to effectively make money from other people's money. So again, different level of thinking here even to the rung below. What's all this about? Well, look, we can have a debate about this online. We can have a debate. It's not meant to be something that's too controversial. What it's meant to be is just a way of thinking that says, okay, if I ultimately want to kind of become an investor, what are the things I need to be kind of learning now in order to be making sensible investment decisions? Now, you might want to then do some other things first before having the money to invest, in which case we need to learn the things and think in a different way at different stages. But there we go. There's the entrepreneurial ladder. I hope that's been useful. I hope it's created some thinking in your head. If you want to chat about it further, pop some thoughts in the comment box below, or indeed get in touch. We'd be delighted to discuss this with you further. Until we speak though, good luck in business.